understand the following information and adhere to it to help save many American lives. I'm going to do a lesson here. The original wheat grains that God created in the beginning of time had very hard shells. Those hard shell wheat grains resist radiation. They're called spelt, icon, emmer, and Khorasan. Khorasan is from Iran and Iraq. Einkorn, spelt, and emmer were all brought from Egypt to Italy around 30 BC by Julius Caesar when he conquered Egypt, after he invaded and conquered Egypt in 30 BC. These grains became known in Italy as farro. Everybody say farro. Farro refers to three types of ancient hard-shelled wheat. Everybody say einkorn. It's farro piccolo, that's small wheat. Then we have emmer. Everybody say emmer. That's farro medio, which is farro medium size. And then emmer. Everybody say, oh, no. And I'm sorry. And then everybody say spelt. Spelt is farro grande. It's the largest kind of wheat grain. And the Egyptians called farro, they called it Pharaoh's wheat, because Joseph gathered the wheat into the barns. You know, the first pyramid was built by Joseph. It's the one that has steps on it. Did you know that? They uncovered a place underneath at the bottom of that entrance, and it had the words there in ancient hieroglyphic, Pharaoh Joseph. He built the first pyramid. Joseph did. Remember him? Okay. Well, at least, you know, there's a cartoon. If you don't know the Bible, there's a cartoon about Joseph the kids know about. Okay. So Julius Caesar brought farro to Italy, and there are three types of farro, and it's hard grain. Okay. And all of these hard grains resist radiation. Now, then, you know, everything was changed over the years, and people, you know, winnowing the wheat. My grandpa used to talk. He died. He was born in 1899. He talked about winnowing the wheat. You throw it up in the air, and the wind just blows the chaff away, because all of the wheat grains over the centuries were modified and modified and modified. So it's really easy to get the shell off the wheat, because who wants to get a hammer and beat a wheat grain to get a little piece of wheat out of it? Okay. But God created those ancient wheats with hard shells because he knew one day the tribulation period would come, there would be nuclear war, and everybody would die without bread. So he supplied farro wheat that resist radiation. So during this time now, farro wheat needs to be gathered together and saved and stored, because during the tribulation period, the people of America will need farro wheat. And the number one wheat in America that's used of the hard shells is spelt. Is spelt, and it's used in high grain restaurants here in America. Okay, so it's very, very important. If you have family and friends who are going to be left behind, find a way, and those people online, find a way to store up farro grains to be used after the rapture. Okay, now, Sister Gayla, come. She's fixed some farro wheat. How many have ever had spelt? Come on. Nobody's ever had spelt. My wife has. Okay. Sister Gayla fixed a loaf of spelt. This is what's going to be needed during the tribulation period, because all the other wheat grains will burn up by the radiation. So just cut some slices. And you know, I can help you out here. I might be forced to try a little piece first. Okay. Yeah, just cut it. There we go. God bless this spelt for the nourishment of our bodies. Okay, now here's what I want to do. I want to cut it small and just give everybody like little pieces. Let them try it, and there's that. Whoops. And, okay, so just cut it small. Give everybody some pieces. You can use the napkins. Oh, this is the one that fell. This is my farro. It's good. You can have to adapt to develop a taste for it. But Sister Gayla is going to give everybody a piece of farro. And this is what our friends who are going to be left behind, they need spelt grain so that they don't starve to death during the tribulation period. Let me stand here and talk to you. Honey, do you have some water? Hang on here. I wrote a lot of pages, so let's fast forward. I wrote a lot of pages, so let's fast forward. Instead of me reading this, let me just tell it to you. So we need bread. Now, let me read a little bit about these farro grains. See where I have this. I don't see it. It's on the next page. We need grains for wheat. Anybody ever had a walnut? When I was a kid, you know, American walnuts, they're kind of black and they have these grains on them, and you have to hit them with a hammer, and you can't get them open. So the growers of walnuts, especially out in California, years ago, they decided, okay, the British walnuts, the shells are very, very soft. The American walnut trees, the trunks of the trees, the wood is very strong, just like the wood on the nut. Their root system is very, very strong. So what they did, you can anybody who's ever traveled in Central California, you can see all over the place, all of these trees that are about this high, they have a white ring painted around them. What they do, they graft British walnut trees into the American trees because the American trees have strong root system, strong trunks. And so when the trees are little bitty, they graft in British walnut trees. And so you've got the strong root system and a good trunk at the bottom. But then the walnuts are soft little shells. You can just break them. But the American walnuts, because God knew America would face radiation problems, nuclear war, we need strong walnuts. So if you have walnut trees, do not destroy them because those walnuts are needed for Americans to have nuts. You need walnuts, American walnuts. You need to plant walnut trees. It takes 7 years for a walnut tree to begin to produce walnuts, and it takes 15 years before they reach their peak of what they can produce. So America needs walnut trees. If you're listening to me online, plant walnut trees. Protect your walnut trees, American walnut trees, because they resist radiation. Macadamia nuts, hardest nut of any nut in the world. God made them to resist radiation. It takes 300 pounds of pressure to break a macadamia nut. 300 pounds. That means hitting it with a hammer, bang! Have you seen the kind of long, look like a slice of orange? Macadamia nuts usually grow in subtropical areas. Macadamia nuts, those trees need to be protected. What about coconuts? Like, throw it against the wall, not going to break. Hit it with the hammer, not going to break. They're pretty resistant to radiation. They grow on date palm trees. The world, we have to save the food God made that we can survive, that the nation can survive the tribulation period. Did everybody get some spelt? You think you can, if you had family members left behind, that they could survive on this kind of bread? I'm telling you the foods that we have to have for our nation to survive the tribulation period. We have to have root cellars because the electrical grid will be destroyed. There won't be electricity to stay warm in the winter. There won't be refrigeration to protect food. So you need root cellars, and you need them deep enough when nuclear attack comes. Let me see how many pages I've skipped here. Take us forward. Okay. Yeah, keep going. Good, good. Oh, we must plant fruit trees, folks, in the areas of the country that won't be destroyed. And I will give you those areas. We need to plant fruit trees. You know, during the tribulation period, people can go out and plant tomatoes and carrots and onions, and a few weeks later, you got something to eat. But you can't do that with fruit trees. God told Moses in Deuteronomy, he said, when you go to attack a city that's rebelling, fighting against you, you cannot cut any fruit trees to build bulwarks against that city. You can't use fruit trees. He forbid them. He said, you do not put, when you go into the promised land, when you cross the Jordan River, you never cut down a fruit tree because that is for food. You don't do it. Now, America in the 50s, Russia stole our nuclear plans for a nuclear bomb, and the man and woman who stole the plans sold it for peanuts, betrayed our country. They killed them, they executed them. But Russia got nuclear weapons. So then in the 50s, America began to build like the Nazis had already started doing before World War II. America started building an expressway system that if a nuclear bomb was about ready to hit Houston, Texas, you could get on the expressway and escape to somewhere away from the city. But now the nuclear bombs are so big, if a nuclear bomb were to hit Houston, everything in every 50 miles in every direction will be leveled. Nothing will be left. It's not like the nuclear bombs that America dropped, the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nagasaki, a little bit that destroyed just, a few little miles. The nuclear bombs now will destroy everything. So America built the expressway system, and America began to build beautiful homes. Oh, I don't want that fruit falling on my beautiful lawn and stinking up everything, and worms get into it. So they cut Americans by the millions. Fruit trees were cut down by the millions. We buy our fruit, and we bring it in from Central America, South America, and Asia, from California, or from Houston. I know, do you guys grow fruit trees here? Not citrus fruit, maybe. Maybe it's not hot enough. Yeah. Okay, so we were going to bring 5 lemon trees down here to plant and give away. We didn't do it. But anyway, so America cut down its fruit trees. And God said, don't do it. Don't do it. And so during the tribulation period, whole states will be annihilated, will be destroyed. The expressway system will be destroyed. Thousands of bridges will be destroyed. There will be no fruit. There'll be no way to get fruit from anywhere unless you have it growing in your backyard. Plant fruit trees. I've been preaching it for years. Years ago, I remember it was 10 years ago, I preached this in a city called Bixby, Oklahoma, south of Tulsa. It's one of the fastest growing cities in Oklahoma now. And I said, folks, plant your apple trees, plant fruit trees, be a Johnny Appleseed, plant fruit trees. And this girl stands up. It's Sunday morning. She stands up. She said, yesterday, I took a bite of an apple, and I saw the seeds. And the Holy Spirit said, go plant those seeds. And she thought, what? I'm planting apple tree seeds? She said, now I know why. I was preaching in Tennessee, not Carmel. Anyway, there's a university there in Tennessee. And Carmen, what was that where Foddy pastored? Anyway, so I was preaching about the fruit trees. And this guy says, this woman, the husband and wife came up to him and they said, you know what? We have a second house we were going to sell. We didn't know what to do with the land. We didn't really need the money. It's just an empty house sitting there. Preacher, God told us what to do through your message this morning. We're going to cover our land with fruit trees. Everybody says, the Holy Spirit, you tell me. And then it's like, yeah, the Lord's been trying to tell me that. Why haven't I been listening?